everybody and welcome back to F1 Manager with Team Haas as we are in Season 3 at Austria, round number 10 of 22, 23, I think it's 22 races. We've dropped to third in the standings. Ferrari have leapfrogged us. Red Bull are 103 points ahead of us. They just seem too powerful this season, and part of that could be down to the fact that we are very heavily focusing on next year's car, as you can see from our research going into next season. This is because I want to be very ahead of the game when we look at rules and regulations going into next year, 2026. There is like 50% on the chassis. There is over 50% changes on the front wing. The rear wing, we've got like 45% changes again. So this is, remember, we voted for this. Huge changes in the car. I don't know if you do remember this. I might have done it off camera. But yeah, lots of stuff is happening to the car, which means there's going to be potential for huge shake-ups next year in the running order of the team. So we've sort of forgotten about this year and are now focusing on next year. We do actually have a new chassis to install on only car number 1, which is a little bit annoying, but do you know what, we're not going to have favourites. We're going to keep them in the same, they'll both have the same components. As you can see, they're both running rear wing number 3, they both have side pod number 2, they both have underfloor number 2, and they both have suspension number 2 as well. So yeah, we're putting all of our resources into trying to figure out the car for next year. So we may finish third. We could still potentially catch Ferrari. We're down there at the moment because we've not been performing brilliantly. In Canada, we had a little bit of a disappointing race. Thiaut Pourchaire 9th, Lando down in 16th. He got hit by Sergio Perez, who didn't finish, and then he had another running wide incident and locked up and stuff like that. So pretty poor in Canada. In Barcelona, it was a little bit bad. Thiaut Pourchaire finished 7th, so 2 places ahead of 9th. Lando Norris outside the points again. Just a terrible strategy as it rained in Barcelona, and I got it very, very wrong with Lando Norris, who actually qualified first for that race. Monaco, we went to Monaco, 5th and 6th, not too bad for the drivers in that one. And where were we? Baku, we were last together, weren't we? Imola, Pourchaire finishing 6th, Lando all the way down in 16th down there. Miami, went to Miami and we had a 1st and 2nd in Miami. It was glorious. We got everything spot on, absolutely perfect, no incidents whatsoever. And then of course, on the last episode in Baku, Lando Norris finished top and Thiaut Pourchaire was 7th. So it's been a mixed bag. We've got a number of races to go. We're by no means at the halfway point yet, although we're not far off it. But Spielberg in Austria, we've got qualifying, practices, sprints, full race. It's going to be a very interesting race, this one. So we'll go and tell our sponsors what we think we're going to do. I think we're going to get 2 drivers into the top 10. Thiaut Pourchaire has been qualifying 10th, and we'll get 2 drivers into Q2. We'll go finish position. We'll chuck the fastest lap on there, even though I'm not 100% sure we'll get it. And we'll go for a finishing position streak of 1 driver in the top 10 for 5 races in a row to maximise that. Right, we'll go and get everything done. We'll be back for the sprint. Okay, so in for the sprint, Thiaut Pourchaire having a dreadful qualifying because I got his fuel wrong and his car ran out of fuel in Q1. So he'll be starting 18th, I think. I think it's really bad. So what we're going to do for old Thiaut Pourchaire is buy him a new ERS system because he may as well while we're here. Gearboxes are actually alright. We don't need to buy a new one just yet. And same with engines. We don't really need to buy one, so I think we'll save the money. But while he's here, we'll chuck a new ERS into his car because it's Austria and speed means absolutely everything. Yeah, I mean, we could go softs and get to the end, but we're obviously going to go for the mediums and push a little bit, be slightly slower off the line. We'll do the same with Thiaut as well. It just gives us a little bit of leeway about what to do. We can push them a bit harder and make them work for us. We'll take 1 lap of fuel out of the car as well. I'm feeling brave in this sprint. Well, I mean, Theo needs to do something, right? He's starting right at the back. He needs to make something work here, and he needs to start jumping the order. So we're not even going to tell him to not overtake. He's got to push. He's got to do it. Yeah, he'll get a penalty warning. That's not a problem. So he may start even right at the back for this one. We'll have to wait and see. But it is a Red Bull lockout on the front row, then Ferraris, then us, Mercedes, and Théo Pourchaire right at the back. So there he is. Look, but we are away for the sprint, so looks like Lando got a pretty decent start, to be honest. But it shows the pace of the Red Bulls and the Ferraris when both, it's a 1-2 for Red Bull, 3-4 for Ferrari, and then you got little Lando Norris behind them. But he's put himself into a good position here. He's got past George Russell. Russell will have the inside for this corner and the next corner, but it'll be interesting to see if Lando can just sort of squeeze past here, because it's a very high speed track. And that top speed, we do have a decent top speed, and he is pulling away with the slipstream, but there is the inside for George Russell as they do get very close to each other. Pourchaire up to 17th, so he's overtaken Pierre Gasly. But this is where it could count for Lando, because he's going to have the inside. And I think we say, like, you know, he's got very high, hasn't he? So let's go always defend, always go aggressive for the overtakes, as Pourchaire having a battle with Sonoda, it looks like, towards the back. George Russell still edges in front just as we make our way round. The first lap is done, and it is the Red Bull out in front of Charles Leclerc, who sets the fastest lap, as DRS is now open. So we'll drop off the fuel, we'll drop off the tyres, get them back into the plan, and we'll do the same for both drivers there and see what they can do. But for now, we're trying to battle with those Ferraris. It's all down to Lando Norris to get a move done, and he's trying. Can't quite get that one sorted into that corner, and then you just get this. We've got a really rapid DRS. Everything about us in a straight line is pretty good. It's just, do we have enough about us to get past George Russell? Lando's still trying. Let's give him the old ERS battle. I always forget to do that from the off. It does make a difference to allow them to use and deploy it at their own will. But Norris keeping pace with Russell, which is good. Well, Lando Norris is dropping down the order like a fly, and I have no idea why. He's got no damage, no issues or anything like that, but he's dropped to both of the Mercedes now. They both got him on like one corner. And Pourchaire is up to 13th. He's doing well. He is battling, but this sprint is getting away from us as a Haas team here. It's very irritating. Norris again dropping down the order. Both of the Aston Martins have now got past him. He's got nothing wrong with his car. Like, everything's fine. His tyres are in line with what we want him to do. He's under-fueled, so he should be lighter. But he's just not getting past. Look, even his lap time's like 6/10 slower than Lance Stroll. Really bad from Lando this sprint. Really bad. We have a virtual safety car because Lance Stroll has caused an incident. So full safety car is deployed. So this will give us some time. We have multiple cars involved in an incident. Is it both Aston Martins wiping each other out? Yes, it is. They bump, they touch. I think they may even hit again as they came off. A full safety car is deployed, and it's going to help us with our fuel, and it's definitely going to help us with our tyres as well. Safety car. No, red flag. Red flag. There was this incident. It's a touch there. They come round. Oh, I think it's because that's the runoff zone. Loads of debris on the road. It's been red flagged. So that is a thinker now. We have 10 minutes. It's not going to rain. I'm saying I think we whack on the softs. I think they get to the end. I think softs are on, and I think everyone's going to do that. Stroll is out. We are in 7th and 12th. It's not been brilliant. I mean, Lando's got lucky because the two Aston Martins took each other out. Everyone's gone softs, which is what we thought. And then we're just going to have to pause this from the off, because everything's going to be set up as if we're still behind the safety car. So deploy, push. Let's go aggressive. We've got loads in these tyres that we can give. Push, deploy. Come on, boys. On these soft tyres, let's have a better sprint race here. Let's have a better sprint. Norris started in 17th. Pourchaire started in 12th. And we're again battling straight from the F. Piastri gets a time penalty in the Aston Martin for hitting his teammate Lance Stroll. He replaced Fernando Alonso, it would seem, as Lando Norris does get a move done on Esteban Ocon very early on. I'll tell you what, Pourchaire's not out of the points in this. He's definitely not out of the points. If Norris can keep pace with those cars in front, I mean, the Red Bulls and the Ferraris are very, very quick. But I'm hoping that the research we're doing for our car next year is going to mean that we're quick next year. That's the key. That is the key here. That's what we want. I don't know why I'm looking at a last lap on here as well. I want intervals. That's at 1. So 3 tenths behind George Russell, and Porcher is under 3. Well, he's 1.8 tenths. 1.8 tenths? That doesn't make sense. He's 1.8 tenth. That was right. He's 1.8 tenth away from Mick Schumacher in front of him. So both drivers pushing hard. And Lando Norris has overtaken Perez in the other Mercedes and is pushing very hard to try and get into the podium places. He is chasing down Max Verstappen. As you can see, he is right on his gearbox there. We can probably get a better view like this and see what he can do going into these corners as Verstappen defends well. They take that at some speed, that first corner there, as Norris, you can see, trying to get the slipstream on Max Verstappen, who is his driver championship rival. Max Verstappen again defending really well. Can Norris get the braking around the outside? Verstappen, I think, is just going to hold on, is he? No, great deployment of the battery from Lando Norris. He is up into 3rd. Porcher's up into 10th as well. We're going to be pushing these soft tyres as hard as we can. Lando Norris may even manage to nick the lead of the Grand Prix here, because these two in front are battling hard. Now, for some reason, we're not getting highlights on the sprint race. It doesn't pop up, so I'm trying to keep an eye on when things are getting close. But we may just come back and miss some of the overtakes. In the main race, it works fine, but in the sprints, it is proving to be a little bit difficult to try and time it right. But Lando Norris on a bit of a charge here to try and catch Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz in the Red Bull and the Ferrari in front. You can see Carlos Sainz just plonking that car in the middle of the road, making it difficult for Charles Leclerc. But yeah, Lando Norris is doing really well at the moment. Just got to manage his fuel in the later part of this race. And here he goes. Go on, Lando. Double overtake. Make it happen. Make it happen. Go on, son. Go on, Lando. We're on board for that one. And he should have a good exit out of this corner. He's going to be squeezed by Carlos Sainz. But Sainz did get DRS. I think Lando was the one that didn't, because he was technically in front of the detection zone. That's going to give Carlos Sainz a lovely boost down that long straight. But yeah, good driving from Lando, up into 2nd place now. And he's going to hunt Carlos Sainz. And I think we're going to stay with this to see if he can get this done, because it's such a short lap at Austria that you basically hit DRS zones all the bloody time, to be honest. There's 3 of them here, all down the long straights. And the next one is just after this double right-hander to finish the lap. Lando Norris trying to chase down Carlos Sainz in that Ferrari, and he's on these soft tyres. He's showing great pace, to be fair, really good pace as Sainz is going defensive. Lando's getting the slipstream with the DRS open. Carlos Sainz defends it well, and I feel like this isn't really the one you want to make the move. It's on the next one, so I don't mind that if we stay behind and get the DRS for the next corner. And then what we're going to do is come around here and say, get in that clean air. And I don't know if we have got battery to try and deploy as well. Go on, get in clean air. Swing left. He's going to stay on that inside, is he? No, he's ignored my orders of clean air, so we'll get him out of that. And I guess we just sort of leave him to it, as we are having a look actually now. Lando going for the right as the fake tried to get down the left. Porcher up into 9th, but we're focusing on this battle with Carlos Sainz for the lead of the Grand Prix. And Lando Norris having another look again. Carlos Sainz going slightly off track. We'll just ease off our engine push and the petrol push, or the fuel push, and see what we can do here, because Lando Norris will get DRS and he's going to absolutely fly past Carlos Sainz. But Carlos Sainz will get DRS into the next straight. So this battle could go on for quite a while. So back to the Lando Norris battle. It's just Lando Norris, Leclerc and Sainz switching places in DRS zones. It's massive. Porcher is into the points, fighting for 7th with Esteban Ocon. If we just jump on board with him, he should get this move done down this long straight as Norris gets it done against Leclerc. Porcher up into 7th place in the Austrian sprint. It's been action-packed. Porcher's actually got a bit of battery we can use there as well. You can tell I've not been really paying attention to Theo Porcher, because I've just been focusing on Lando trying to get in the win, and it's been really tough. There is a yellow flag. There is an incident somewhere. It's not Lando Norris, so that's all I care about at the moment, as Russell ran wide. Now we get the replays. Russell won wide, and that is going to pull him back into Theo Porcher's eye line, as you can see at the front. But these DRS races, these DRS zones are making this so difficult for the drivers. And we're actually going to ease off. I don't think our tyres are going to make it to the end there, especially Porcher's. That could put him in a lot of trouble. With 3 laps to go, I think he's going to have to let this one go here at Theo Porcher. He's going to have to try and do his best to hold on to 7th or 8th. But Lando Norris is still fighting for the top spot of the podium, and he's back in that place, but there is another DRS zone coming up. Final lap of the Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc is sort of pulling away Lando Norris, where we've had to just ease off his tyres. We can get him back onto aggressive, to be honest. It's the final lap of the Grand Prix, boy. Come on, try what you can, but he's been so unlucky in going around corners and having DRS just before other people get there. We can give Theo Porcher a little bit of one more push as well. Hold on to that final point, and if he can get Esteban Ocon, which he has just done, I assume, with DRS. Ocon up the inside. Quite a battle we've got going on here as well. Theo Porcher will have the DRS and we'll get that one done, as Lando Norris, I think, has got enough space from Carlos Sainz behind him. It's the two Red Bulls battling it out. Max Verstappen's sort of come out of nowhere in this race as well, as it looks like Lando Norris is going to hold on for 3rd position, which is immense given that he started 5th, 6th, something like that. So very good. The red flag helping us out, getting us to put the soft tyres on. And Lando Norris going a little bit wide at the last corner is going to take home 3rd. Leclerc gets 1st, and we'll focus on Theo Porcher, seeing if he can come round in this final corner. He can't get Esteban Ocon. He's going to pick up the final point of the sprint race. Wow, that was intense. Lando Norris up 2 to 3rd. Theo Porcher up 10 places to 8th, picking up a point, which is good for him, but he will get that grid penalty in the Grand Prix, which we're just about to go into. The sprint race, very exciting in Austria. There you go. So he's getting a 10-place grid penalty. He'll be starting 17th. Have they changed it now? They have changed it. So where you finish in the sprint? No, they haven't changed it. That's what it always used to be. There is a new system in play now. So whack on a pair of hards. Can you push the softs a little bit? Yes, you can. Can you push the hards a little bit? Yes, you can. Maybe we end on a set of mediums and go like that. That's 4 seconds quicker. That's 4 seconds quicker, so they're exactly the same. Do we go for something a little bit outrageous here? Do we go for a full bit? Because it's such a short lap. I know it's saying this is going to be slower. I mean, you can't even do a... You literally can't make this work either. You have to go sort of like that. So we're going to push the softs, sort of push the mediums. With Lando, that's what we're going to try. We'll see if we can get him into the lead of the race and pull away on those soft tyres. And I think with Theo Porcher, we'd be a little bit more sensible starting further back. Or do we just go hards, soft, soft? Oh, actually, yeah, we could end on mediums. Push the hards a little bit. Push the mediums. Push the softs. Push the mediums. Can we drag them out? Yeah, I think that's what we go with Theo. Get him to stay out a little bit longer and see what he can do there. Now, there is a chance for safety car. We saw it in the sprint. So that is always an option in the Austrian Grand Prix. We'll put 1 lap less of fuel in both of their cars. And here we go. The Austrian Grand Prix. Lando doing a pretty mental strategy, to be honest. Right. All the front runners starting on softs, which is really interesting to see. I'm going to suggest Theo is probably the only one on hards. No, Ocon's on hards as well. He's going to go a bit longer. Norris has got a jump on Max Verstappen off the off, but Verstappen has that inside. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this race forms. All 4 runners at the front wearing softs. Really interesting, and Russell's actually overtaken Sainz, and I think Russell's on the mediums, as Norris is having another look at the Red Bulls. We know they've got an absolute rocket ship of a car, so it's going to be really hard to usurp them into the lead, and that's why I think the strategy may come into it. They're not going to push their tyres like we are, and then we just manage it out. Lando is up into 2nd, overtaking Max Verstappen, as Theo Porcher is up to 15th. He's got 2 spots already in this race and has overtaken Gasly and Tsunoda. So Theo Porcher doing a very, very good job. We just need to make sure that we manage all of their stuff this time in this race, because it's going to be very tough to keep an eye on this. Ah! No, I didn't look at the weather. Oh, and the game's crashed, so we're going to have to reload because it's crashed. Because all it lets you do is play on, right, we'll be back in for the race, and luckily I'll get to change the strategy and look at what the weather's going to do, because it's going to rain. Right, here we are, back again. That hasn't happened to me for a very long time. But yes, there is wet weather throughout the race, so intermediates will probably be going on at some point. So I think what we do is we play it by ear, and we basically just go smash those softs as much as we can. And we go from there, because we're going to have to play this by ear. If the rain doesn't come, then we can ease off, but it should come on while the softs are there, and then we get onto some inters and go from there. So with the weather, we can definitely take extra fuel out of the car, and hopefully Lando Norris can get as good a start as he would have done. Now, the reset is favouring Theo, definitely, because he was on the hards. So other than that though, Lando, nothing's really changing. I still would have pitted him when it came back to say it was raining, and I definitely would have pitted him onto intermediates from the softs, but Theo obviously would have been much worse off because he was on the hard tyre to start. So now Theo should make even more places up. And this time, I'm going to remember to put ERS battle on from the beginning, because I only remember to do it after about lap 5 last time. But here we go. Norris is getting up there into second already, potentially. A really good start over Verstappen. Verstappen is obviously going to have the inside into the next corner after this one. It's it's really closely packed into that corner as Norris just goes back into third place. Pourchaire up to 16th, overtaking Tsunoda already. Yeah, not too bad. Verstappen didn't really overtake Norris, did they? It's the first lap and everyone's still in their same position, so nothing to worry about there. But we did that crash is annoying when that happens. I thought they would have fixed that by now, but the stage we got to, basically Leclerc, Verstappen and Norris were on their own in a 3, so I assume we'll get to that point again. But let's wait and see. Okay, so Norris has the lead of the Grand Prix. Pourchaire moving himself up to 14th. Verstappen trying to have a look around the outside there. I mean, Norris did get DRS because Verstappen had his nose in front. The rain is on its way, 2 minutes and then a 55% chance of rain in the area. But you can see that DRS really helping out Lando Norris. So let's see if we can maximise that and deploy the battery as well to try and keep that lead while the 2 Red Bulls behind us are battling away. If we can pull away and give us a good enough chance to get out of DRS going into the next bit. It's the best place to get that overtake is this final one. There is a yellow flag somewhere. Norris is not going to be a second in front though, is he, before he gets into this. There's a crash involving multiple cars, but everyone's still racing, so but he's put half a second between himself and Max Verstappen, so hopefully Verstappen has to defend a little bit from Leclerc and they don't really work together, because Lando's done a stellar job to get that far in front. No rain on the track just yet, but Pourchaire climbing 4 places up to 13th is lovely to see. We absolutely love to see that. Okay, rain has started. 0.02% millimetres on the track. How much are we expecting this to increase? Not very quickly, actually. Probably around about, I don't know if that's even going to hit a millimetre, to be honest. So we'll stick with it for now and see how we run. Right, then this is interesting. Pourchaire still climbing the order into the points for Pourchaire. Lando Norris and Verstappen are now for solo battle because Leclerc locked up and he's all the way at the back behind the Ferraris. But he's sort of stuck at half a millimetre of rain. And it's not going to increase much more until here. So we may be going on to Lando's original strategy and getting onto the mediums for a bit of a big stint here. But Verstappen is really battling with us hard, so he must be pushing his tyres a little bit to try and get the lead of this Grand Prix. So we've asked Lando just to ease off his tyres a little bit because he's getting near the 30% mark, as is Pourchaire. I didn't pay attention to that. But it's 0.79 and there's going to be a little bit more of an increase. Is that going to be enough to tip it over into the 1 millimetre? That's the question. I just want to keep an eye on Verstappen. You can see what our tyre wear is doing now. It's really letting everybody else back into the race to catch us up. Verstappen comes in. Have I just missed the pit entrance? It's not at a millimetre yet. This is the problem. It's 1 to 3 millimetres. It's not getting any stronger. Look, dry. I'm thinking we start. We may get Pourchaire in. I'm going to take a risk here. We're going on to the mediums. We're not going on to the... We're sticking on the mediums. I don't think that's going to reach a millimetre. In 10 minutes' time, this still says dry. In 10 minutes' time, light rain, 90% accuracy. I think we're okay here. I think we're okay. They come in as well. So we're going to see... I assume they're going to go on to the intermediates. 0.88. We'll just keep an eye on where Pourchaire is, because I swear it says that your tyres for Inters are what we've had this before, where I try and find what the best tyres are. Let's go, yeah, confirm. Don't worry about that. Is it in strategy where you have to then go like plus and say that you're going to put intermediates on? Yeah, intermediates. Here you go. So wet track intermediates. Oh, it's now changed. Ah, that's cheeky. It's changed what it counts as. There isn't an actual. There isn't a water amount measurement. So Verstappen is on the inters. 46% inters apparently, which can't be right. Well, Lando's got a whole nother lap to do. Pourchaire at the moment is coming in for the mediums, which is really brave because it's just getting to 0.9. It hasn't said the track has gone to damp yet, and that's the key. When it says the track's going to damp, it will later on, but I just don't think it will. 0.9. Theo Pourchaire in the box, and he's going to be shocking the commentary crew here by going to the mediums. We're waiting for something. He's run over that pit crew member there. 0.9. Lando's put 13 seconds ahead. I think Lando follows the curb, right? It's going to get there eventually. I feel like I've just messed over Theo Pourchaire, but I'm hoping this extra little stint on the soft tyres with Lando is going to help him out here. Obviously, it's Verstappen we're battling. Right, Pourchaire, you might as well absolutely bosh out some laps, mate, because you're going to be pitting again in a minute, I think. As Lando, please tell me you're coming in, pitting this lap. Yeah, okay, I thought for a minute there he was going to miss the exit. So we kept Lando out for one more, in conditions which were suited for soft tyres. It's 0.96, and again, it's not really going up. So, Lando is in, Albon is in, Perez is coming in. Well, we will be matching tyres here. It's not a very long pit lane. We're going to be... I think Verstappen is just going to pass us. Yeah, there goes Verstappen. So Verstappen, you can argue, pitted on the right lap. I think we're going to come out... Go, 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 go. Not quite out in front of the Ferrari, but battling with George Russell. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Oh, no energy for Theo. I've been asking him to push for quite a while. Lando, I think, is just about to get in front of George Russell and does. He's got DRS. Depends where Zhou parks that quite slow Williams in compared to us. Literally blocking both of us. Lovely. So he's got that done. Lando should be able to get past Zhou pretty easily. It's still not gone to damp. How's Theo Pourchaire's lap times? A 1:30. I assume that's because of his pit stop. So I'm going to see what Theo does here. Oh, come on, Zhou. Get out of the way. Jesus, man. Okay, it's 0.9, but it's judging by the lap times, intermediates are definitely the tyre to be on. So I think we admit our mistake with Theo there, and we get him in to pit. Now, Norris is right here. He's caught up to Verstappen and Ocon, and he's doing a fantastic job up there, battling for the lead. Ocon holding up Verstappen really well. And look at this as a sort of box 4 there, as we do get Pourchaire into the pits. Now, Pourchaire had a decent gap to some cars behind him. You can just see they're jumping him now, so it won't be completely disastrous, but it will be somewhat disastrous. Okay, virtual safety car is out. Pourchaire's pit stop was disastrous, by the way. It took him down to 16th, so a full safety car here would be lovely for Theo Pourchaire. But Schumacher is out. He's okay, apparently. He is completely out, and I think we're going to see here... Nope, we didn't see what the incident was. I didn't get a chance to click it either. Virtual safety car. Everybody is just chilling. And yeah, Russell and Ocon have pulled some absolute pace from somewhere. Ocon stayed on hards, and he had a bit of a time where he was pulling away, and now he's pitted for to go on to intermediates, I imagine. So there we go. So we are going to jump Esteban Ocon, which is very, very nice. Yeah, Ocon. I didn't realise Ocon stayed out on the hards. Interesting. It worked for him for a little bit, but he will be coming out on fresh inters, I guess. He's going to be coming out right behind Leclerc. The McLarens may just overtake him. Yeah, he's been done by Magnussen and Albon, according to this. So maybe not that successful for Esteban Ocon. But at the moment, we've got the fastest lap, and we are sitting in second place with Norris. Pourchaire, who was running up here, if I'd put him on intermediates at that lap where I thought to pit him, if I'd put him on intermediates then, he would have been probably in the points. But you can't win them all. Okay, Nick De Vries has crashed under a virtual safety car, going into, what's that, the final corner, I think, just spinning off. Yeah, lovely work from Nick De Vries there. Bang, that's going to dent his front wing. Okay, virtual safety car is about to end, so we can get back on the attack with both drivers here. And hopefully we can get Pourchaire in the points, and let's see if we can get Norris to the lead of this Grand Prix. He's got to catch up Russell, who's a little bit ahead of him, but not too far. Well, 2 seconds actually. Wow, it was a lot more than I thought. But yeah, Verstappen on our backside. We're now trying to hunt down George Russell. Alright, well, Norris, Lando and Verstappen's sort of DRS train jumping each other has brought us back into the race with George Russell. 7 seconds ahead of Carlos Sainz we are at the moment, so that's a good little gap to have. Pourchaire is closing the gap on the cars in front of him, but it's going to come at a bit of a push on those tyres, I think, running them like that. But let's see how we do. Let's see how we get on. The rain is pretty level throughout now, so the only thing is we might have to keep an eye on Théo Pourchaire's tyres to get them to the end, whereas Lando, I think, can probably get to the end on this sort of push. So we'll see how he goes. But yeah, 3-way battle for the lead. So the track condition has now officially changed to damp because it's got over 1 millimetre of water on it, but it's a bit late now game, isn't it? I mean, it should mean that the intermediate tyres come into their own in terms of performance, but we'll see how it goes, as I think we can carry on pushing the fuel because of the weather. We have asked Pourchaire to be aggressive when he gets close to other drivers now and make something happen. Norris, though, we're happy for him to sit behind and get pulled along by DRS, to be honest. Oh, George Russell has a spin on turn 4, which opens up the gap for both drivers. He loses the back end into the gravel pit, and Verstappen and Norris say thank you very much. And Norris is right on the back of Max Verstappen there with 31 laps to go. Okay, we're going to have to make a decision at some point because I don't think Lando's tyres are going to make it. We've been pushing them really hard behind Max Verstappen in the dirty air. And he's now dropping off the pace quite a lot. I think we risk it and we get him on a new set of inters. Oh, do we go inters though? This is the thing with the weather. Yeah, we go to inters. It's going to stay at this sort of level. We're going to pit him for a new set of inters. Pourchaire, I think, is a lost cause. We basically just have to let him do his own thing. But yeah, we're going to get Norris in and we're going to see if a new set does him well. Reports, circuit info. What do I want? Time considerations. On the green flag is 22 seconds. So we are going to drop into sort of 6th. It's not ideal. Lap times, yeah. I mean, people are catching us. We do need to make a conscious effort here to make sure we stay in the points rather than get a puncture and potentially drop out of the points. So, yeah. The only thing we could do is try and hold on for a safety car. But I think that's a risky strategy to do. We could stay out longer and try and hold on for a safety car. We'll see. No, I'm going to go with my gut instinct. We're going to pit. We're going to stick and we're going to pit. And we haven't watched a pit stop today, so let's watch one with Lando Norris and hope that it doesn't go wrong. The pit crew were well rested, I think, for Austria, so it should be fine. Look at those two little men on the gantry there. They'll be absolutely drenched in this drizzle. Right, Lando's in to try and get some fresh tyres on. And he does get fresh tyres on. It's a good stop, 2.3. Not our fastest of the year, but a decent stop nonetheless. And if we can come out behind Perez and get some DRS, that would be lovely. We sort of do need to DRS train or DRS hop our way up the leaderboard back into contention. So we are a whopping 21 seconds off Max Verstappen. So hopefully Lando has some magic in those tyres and he can make them work. I said a DRS train. There isn't going to be a DRS train because it's damp conditions, so there won't be a DRS train. But he has caught Perez up very, very quickly, so hopefully he gets that move done. Again, we'll tell him to go into high aggressive overtakes to try and make things happen. But I mean, he shouldn't need that actually. He should have natural pace on fresh tyres. We're not going to do that just yet. I want his confidence to be a bit higher. So yeah, let's see. Let's go. So we've got Porsche's tyres down in temperature, but I don't think that's going to quite be enough to get to the end. But maybe we leave him on a hope and a prayer. 10 laps to go. Lando Norris has gained very nicely. He's overtaken Perez, left him 5 seconds in the dust. He's caught up to Leclerc for a potential overtake manoeuvre and Sainz. So a podium isn't out of the question here for Lando Norris, which would be lovely. Obviously, we did start in 4th, I think it was, maybe 3rd. So, yeah, it was 3rd, wasn't it? Because that's what we got a podium in the sprint. So, yeah, it would be nice to finish where we started. But given the adverse weather conditions and everything that's gone on, I'm pretty happy with where we stand. Although, did he hit then? I think he did. He's not lost a lot of confidence. Now his confidence is in very high. So let's get this. He just sort of came to a stop there. It looked like their tyres may have touched. So we're going to give him the battery to try and get back into this. He's just dropped to a 2nd off. So he needs to keep going. Porsche up to 16th, but he's got a long way to get the cars in front. So yeah, we're sort of just letting him do his own thing. I messed up Porsche's strategy. That's all on me. Lando once again right on the back of this train, and he's trying to have a few looks here and there to get something done. His tyre wear will probably be... yeah, it's much better than everybody else. Go on, Lando. You can get this done, mate. You can get this done. I don't always like doing this drive in clean air, but sometimes it does work, especially when you have a good bit of ERS and DRS. And this could be the double overtake that we've been waiting for. Go on, Lando. Go on, Lando. He's not going to get it down on this one, but he may get it into the next DRS zone because he's going to have a great exit out of here. Go on. I don't think Carlos Sainz is going to have DRS either, and I think Lando Norris may be getting this one done. And Carlos, I mean, George Russell isn't a million miles away on these tyres. Lando Norris is not completely out of 2nd place here because now he's got clean air. He should catch George Russell pretty quickly. Okay, we're coming in. We're about halfway through. Halfway through with this lap with 3 laps to go. That is George Russell. Dry weather is predicted, but that doesn't bother us anymore at the moment. And Lando Norris is right on his tail, pushing these tyres as hard as he possibly can. We've just overtaken Thieu Pourchaire, so we've lapped our teammate. But yeah, Lando Norris is not out of 2nd place here. 2 laps to go with this one. Could this come down to the final lap of the Grand Prix? I'm sort of like sit behind him. But we're pushing hard. We've got better tyres and we're pushing hard. We could get this done and finish 2nd in this Grand Prix, which would be absolutely mega. Come on, Lando. You've got your DRS open. I know Russell's parking that in the middle, but you can definitely sneak past him. And this is the DRS zone to do it. So deploy that battery. You can push the fuel as well. Just make sure you get this done. You can have a good run. That's the one. He showed him to the right and then went to the left. And Lando Norris is going to get this done, isn't he? He's going to get up into 2nd place out of this corner. We aren't going to have any battery going down into the start-finish straight, but that's not a problem. That isn't Max Verstappen in front of us. That is a back marker, by the way. That is one of the Williams, I think. Zhou, potentially. But Norris does go up into 2nd place and is looking good in this Grand Prix. But half a second between him and himself and George Russell already. So he is flying in this Haas. He's doing really, really well. A lot of the comments are being like, you know, Thieu Pourchaire needs to step this up a little bit. But I think Lando is just such a good driver. He's taken nearly a second out of Max Verstappen's lead there. I mean, he's not going to catch him by the end of this race. But a superb drive from Lando Norris. The decision to put him onto fresh tyres has done wonders. Thieu Pourchaire is going to make his tyres last as well. He's going to have one less lap to do because he's been lapped. This lap car needs to really get out of the way and not hold us up. It did hold us up a little bit, but George Russell will not have DRS in this dry weather. Is it even dry? Is DRS a thing at the moment? I don't know, but we've got in front. We can drop him down to just aggressive now, try and get the temperatures back in. And Lando Norris is having a superb drive. He should get 2nd place quite comfortably, to be honest. He doesn't need to do anything silly. He went into some manoeuvres very aggressively and got them done. And yeah, Max Verstappen's going to win this one at about a 5-second lead, 4.5-second lead. So Lando Norris has eaten into it. quite comfortably. Lando Norris is going to pick up the fastest lap of the Grand Prix unless Max Verstappen does it right now. But Lando Norris to cross the line and take up a very impressive second in the Austrian Grand Prix. A really good job from Lando Norris as Thibaut Pourchaire is going to cross the line and get 16th. Disappointing for him, but the strategy call was all on me. Yeah, great race from Lando Norris. Very, very happy with that. He's going to have a little bit of a celebration. We'll see him on the podium because it is thoroughly deserved. And we needed that. We needed to beat Ferrari drivers, and we've done it. I mean, Red Bull and Max Verstappen, I think, are going to win this Constructors again. But as I said, we're focusing on next year's car to try and get rid of those 50% deficits that we've got to deal with. But there is Lando. We'll see Max get the trophy, but Lando raced really, really well. Does get more points than George, which is crucial. And that's really good. Lando gets second place. Lovely stuff for Mr. Norris. And there you have it. Lando up one position to second, setting the fastest lap of the time at Grand Prix as well with a two-stopper. Worked out wonderfully for him. Thibaut Pourchaire did go up one place, but it could have been so much better if I'd got his strategy right. Into the drivers' standings then. Lando Norris is still second. 25 points for him, 157 points. He's quite some way behind Max Verstappen. Thibaut Pourchaire is in sixth, so he's having a good season. The rookie driver. Red Bull remain at the top, 360 points. They're 109 points ahead of Ferrari, who are 20 points ahead of us. So we have closed the gap. No, we didn't. Ferrari got double points, so they've extended the gap ever so slightly. So the Austrian Grand Prix is done. We have done some research on that rear wing, which is lovely to see. We'll go and get some more research started there. A few components have failed, and we are in a new ATR period, which is perfectly tight for the chance to go and do some more research. So we will research in. I mean, they all need such major stuff doing. Let's get an underfloor done. We'll put about half of everything we've got into 2 components for this ATR period. And I think, look at that, 50%, 50%, 50%, 50%, 50%. It's absolutely massive, all of this change. And I feel like we're going to have to. We sort of need to make sure the cornering is sorted, so I think we're going to go with something like this. So a little bit of a gain here. Yeah, it's annoying. Also, it says the reduction is 50% of your expertise, which is very, very irritating. We're going to put 2 engineers on that to just make sure all of our engineers are busy. And that'll cost us 1.45 million. There we go. So 4 days time our side pods are done, so we'll get another one going there. Let's just make sure we get everything ready on the car for the next Grand Prix, and then we'll get some manufacturing done of the components that we potentially need. So into the manufacturing we go. I've only got 2 things going. Underfloor's already being done, that's fine, as is chassis, and I think it was a front wing, but we've got 5 of them in the garage, 4 rear wings, 4 side pods, 4 suspensions, and we're building the other 2. No need to build anything. We're good with car parts as it stands. Right, that was the Austrian Grand Prix. We are going to come back for... Let's come back for Japan. We'll do Japan and then the last Grand Prix of the season at Abu Dhabi. So we'll be back for the race in Suzuka. We'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you in a bit. Cheers.